Back here on HQ, the Sweet 16 games are rolling along tonight with Purdue and top-seeded Houston. Is this the year that Kelvin Sampson and the crew can get it done? Houston making their 6th straight Sweet 16, and they are red hot, winning 15 straight. And in the second round, really outmatching Gonzaga, beating them 81-76, looking healthy, which we know has been a concern for Houston in the past. Looking at the Midwest region, Houston, of course, taking on Purdue, and then we have Kentucky, Tennessee. Also, the winners of those will match up against one another. And this round of the tournament is at Lucas Oil, so it's essentially a home game for the Boilermakers, only an hour and 14 minutes away. We'll say an hour and a half if you want to add in a little bit of traffic there. In Indiana. Sure. Yeah, no, I mean, I lived in the tri-state area in Cincinnati, and, you know, Indy, Cincy, it gets a little crowded there sometimes. But regardless, essentially a home game there. Coach Kyle back with us here, Amanda Guerra, Jacqueline D'Agostino. We're going to talk about this matchup because we're looking at Houston and this defense that they have against Purdue, who can shoot the three pretty darn well. But let's talk about the home crowd first, Kyle, because how much is that going to play a factor in your eyes here? Purdue needs all the help they can get. Whether it's the home crowd, the three-point shooting, whatever. But how much do you think that's going to factor into Purdue's game?
It'll be a factor, absolutely. Purdue has been one of the best home teams in college basketball the last few years. Now, this game is not being played in Mackey Arena. Right. If this was in Mackey Arena, I think I'd probably pick Purdue. Okay. But this is basically a home game for Purdue, a road game for Houston. Houston's just been so good of late. 15 straight games they've won coming into this game. 28 of their last 29 games they've won, and their defense has been fantastic. The best defense in efficiency in college basketball. They're shooting it at a high level. They don't have a lot of weaknesses, and the best of all, they're healthy. That has been a real problem for Houston in the NCAA tournament the last few years. This is the best team that Kelvin Sampson has fielded. This is probably his best chance to win a national championship.
Avery, he mentioned Houston's defense there. I still remember Kelvin Sampson when he was at Oklahoma. But I will say my folks are in Houston. I actually have Houston winning the tournament. I don't know how that happened. Talk to us and give us a breakdown, though, of their defense and how it has been just so elite in this tournament.
Well, Houston plays a trapping style.
All season, I should say.
Yeah, trapping style defense. When you get off the bus, you're going to get trapped. You were talking about what does Purdue need against this defense? Probably 6 players. But look at the trap here from the baseline. No biggie. Every time they want to force you into a skip pass, they pride their defense on deflections. Look at it here, trapping you all the way to half court. They want that skip pass so that they can have then 3 interceptors. You in the paint, you're going to get trapped. Here's the trap from the baseline. Look at it, suffocating, forcing you to call a timeout. So this is Kelvin Sampson's best defensive team, but it's also his best offensive team because they're shooting the three. I mean, they can knock down the shot. Very efficient. They don't take a lot of three-point attempts, but they're very efficient from the three-point line. So I'm fired up about this game. Purdue, they've yet to see a defense as good as Houston this year.
I felt like he was writing a rap song. He's like, trap, 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 trap. It was kind of like Kendrick Lamar is there, but
no, Drake.
I'm sorry. Avery.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Avery.
No, now I know which side.
Avery.
I like Drake too. That's all I'm going to say. Okay, so you said Kelvin Sampson's best defensive team, best offensive team. I'm thinking you're picking Houston based off of saying that.
Yeah, I got Houston going all the way to the championship game. Okay. Yeah, Houston, Kelvin Sampson, you know, you only get a few shots at this, and this is a wonderful opportunity for him. He's losing one of his assistant coaches, Quantas White, who got the job at the University of Louisiana Lafayette. But this team, L.J. Cryer, I love the way he's playing at a high level. Milos Uzan, who came from Oklahoma, is another guy. But Juwan Roberts, he missed 2 games in the conference, Big 12 conference tournament. He's healthy now. They play through him in the post a lot. He's here he is right here. Left-handed player, but he can make it with his right hand, jump hooks inside. But this team is, I think they're the most balanced team Kelvin Sampson has had at the University of Houston.
Yeah, you got to go with Houston here. Houston's so good at wreaking havoc on defense. Purdue, I think if you're going to pinpoint one area where they've struggled this season, it's committing turnovers. 19 turnovers in the second round. Braden Smith had 8 turnovers in that game. Houston's so good at capitalizing off of mistakes. I think Houston's defense wins out. Houston just has way too much offensive firepower as well.
I've been cheering for your Florida Gators.
Yes,
I'm just letting you know,
appreciate you for that.
If they do end up in the national championship against one another, then I am going to be rooting for Houston. Kyle, Avery, we appreciate it. Avery, still happy belated birthday.
Thank
Did you have a good one?
I had a great birthday. Thank you for the love.
Awesome.
And the Sweet 16 is rolling along. And we have Ole Miss, Michigan State, Michigan, and Auburn on CBS. You know, I love Kelvin Sampson and I love Houston, but I need Amanda Guerra to continue cheering for the Florida Gators moving forward.
Go Gators for now. Absolutely. Coming up, we're going to turn to the NFL draft. Look, there ain't that many great quarterbacks in this draft. However, maybe we can find some gems.
I love that analysis.
Some really good backups, potential starters down the line. We'll talk to Ryan Wilson coming up. Oops.